Hi, everyone. Welcome to COVID class, a liberal arts exploration of the coronavirus pandemic. I'm Dr. Taylor Newton. I am a professor, an associate professor of psychology here at Lenore-Ryan University, and I'm a social psychologist. One of the things that I'm interested in is the way that psychology and religion intersect with one another.
And I'm Dr. Devin Fisher. I'm a professor of English here at Lenore-Ryan. My background is in Victorian literature with a particular focus on the way that religion and literary texts intersect.
One of the first things that Dr. Fisher and I wanted to do was to thank some of the many people who made this class possible, working very hard at the last minute to put things together for us. Some of those people include Doug Miner, Kat Necro, Gary Johnson, Corey Bootson, Stacy Brackett, Elisa Stewart, and our class librarian, Patrice Hall. In addition to all of those people, we would also like to thank the faculty who are volunteering their time to teach over the course of these next 10 weeks. So one guest professor per week. Thank you to all of you, and you'll have the opportunity to meet each of those professors a little bit more intimately during the week that they are assigned.
So we thought as we got started with this, we wanted to talk a little bit about why the two of us were so interested in doing this kind of a class. For me, it has a lot to do with the nature of knowledge in the academy. As COVID-19 has unfolded, I have relied very heavily on my friends who are scientists, both doctors in the community and professors here at Lenore-Ryan and elsewhere. And yet I've had this lingering feeling that other disciplines probably have something to say to us as well. Counseling, for instance, helping us to think about mental health issues as we all deal with something pretty unprecedented for us. Literary studies that help us to think about developing empathy for people who might be on the front lines of this. And this course seemed to be a really good opportunity to dig into some of those things. So Dr. Newton, what about you? What motivated you? What sparked the interest?
I think I'm having a similar experience as you, Dr. Fisher. In the face of so much that we don't know, it's limiting to rely only on my own expertise. And so I'm especially looking forward to learning from our amazing colleagues here at Lenore-Ryan University who have different disciplinary specializations than yours as a professor of English and mine as a professor of psychology. So learning right alongside of the students in this class is one of the things that I'm most looking forward to.
And I think one of my concerns, and I'm going to ask you to say a little bit about this because I know it falls more in your disciplinary expertise. So for me, it's a social concern. For you, it's a professional concern as well, which is the way in which this has affected different people in different ways. And just kind of getting a little bit more insight into that. So how would you approach that from kind of a social psychologist's perspective?
It's a great question. I think it's one of the themes that we're going to repeatedly return to over the course of this class, that the coronavirus pandemic is not experienced the same by all people, not even all people in the United States or in North Carolina or in Hickory, North Carolina, never mind globally. So societal inequities seem to be magnified by what's happening over the course of this pandemic, that vulnerable people are becoming increasingly vulnerable because of how things like the lockdown and rates of exposure, depending on your job, are playing out. So this idea that not everyone is experiencing it the same, and that some people are much more impacted, particularly vulnerable people of many types, but people of color are experiencing the effects of the pandemic at a much more severe way than less vulnerable people. So we'll probably return to that idea throughout.
And I suspect, given the people who we have lined up, paired with our own scholarly interests, probably also going to return pretty frequently to the question of the religious and the spiritual in this, and how, as humans, we can learn about the biology of this, but we also have a very personal response to this kind of a tragedy that touches on spiritual, mental wellness in a way that I suspect also is going to be circulating through our conversations. And certainly for those of you taking the course, we invite you to look for those threads as well. What are the connections that you see across all of this?
The liberal arts is such a great way to take that more holistic approach. So being in conversation with one another is a great way to kind of leverage that whole, that holistic approach to understanding things.
So I want to give you just a quick overview of how the course will work. We want to make this as simple as possible. Once you log into the course, and we will send you that URL in email, you'll see just a brief description, a note about what you'll learn in the course, and then the schedule. And it's going to be in the schedule that you find all of the materials for the course. Each week we will set that week's speaker to be the default open view in this expander. So you can see in week 1 we have Dr. Catherine Tinklenberg. We'll have a brief description of what the week will be about, and then you will find links to the readings and the content. For students seeking credit in the course, there will be a link to an assignment. And then on Friday, once the Thursday night webinar has been concluded and downloaded, we will put it back here so that if you missed it on Thursday, you have a chance to watch it later. At any point, you can expand the links for different weeks. Finally, a couple of notes up here. You will find information about the faculty teaching the course, a copy of the course syllabus, a link to the Johns Hopkins University COVID-19 map, and a link out to library resources. I'm going to do a quick jump into week 1's readings and content just to show you what this will look like. Again, we want it to be as easy as possible, so really you're going to just scroll through the page. There are opportunities for you to respond to some of the work. There are videos to watch. There are links to readings. And then there is Dr. Tinklenberg's lecture, followed by some questions to think about and additional readings and resources. At any point, you can click Home to return back to our main page, and you can click Contact to generate a Google form at which you can contact either me or Dr. Newton. Whatever you put in here will actually go to both of us. And if you wish to, you can provide an email address so that we can reply. That's really about it.
So now that you've seen a little bit about how to navigate the course and you've heard a little bit about what we're hoping to get, we just want to end with a thank you for joining us on this journey. We look forward to learning with you. Dr. Newton, any final thoughts from you?
Welcome to the class. We'll see you on Thursday.